You know, we like to think we've got space all figured out, right? We've got our neat little boxes, stars, planets, galaxies. It all seems so orderly. But the universe, well, it has a funny way of reminding us that we really don't know much at all.
Because out there in that deep, endless night between the stars, in all that cold, empty space, yeah, I said it, monsters. And I'm not talking about science fiction. I'm talking about something very, very real, and maybe even stranger. Imagine a world with no sun, no sunrise, no sunset, just drifting, alone, forever. These are the monsters of the void. All right, so let's get into it. What exactly are we dealing with here? What are these lonely wanderers?
The official name for them is rogue planets, and it's pretty simple, really. Picture Jupiter, or even Earth, but just cut it loose. No sun to circle around, no solar system to call home. They're just out there, adrift in the immense darkness between the stars. So where the heck do these things come from? Well, scientists have a couple of big ideas. One is that they're basically cosmic orphans, right? They were born in a totally normal solar system, but got kicked out, violently ejected by the gravitational chaos of their bigger siblings. The other idea? Maybe they were never part of a family to begin with. Maybe they formed all alone out in the dark, kind of like a star that just pooped out before it could really get going.
And get this, we are not talking about a handful of these things. No, no. Scientists think there could be, wait for it, trillions of them right here in our own Milky Way. That means our galaxy is literally crawling with these invisible wanderers. Now, most of these rogue planets just drift along, minding their own business. But recently, astronomers pointed their telescopes at one, and they saw something, well, something that shouldn't be happening, something kind of terrifying. Let me introduce you to CHA 1107-7262. It's a beast. Young, massive, we're talking 5 to 10 times bigger than Jupiter. And here's the thing. It's hungry. Really hungry. So as this thing was just cruising through a big cloud of gas and dust, it started feeding. And the sheer rate of it's almost impossible to wrap your head around. It is swallowing 6 billion tons of material every single second. Okay, let's try to make that make sense. Think about the Great Pyramid of Giza. You know, that massive, unbelievably heavy thing. This planet is eating the equivalent of 1,000 Great Pyramids per second. It's just insane. Okay, this is absolutely wild, but it raises a huge question, right? How in the universe do you even find something like this? I mean, seriously, think about it. There's no sun shining on it. It's a dark thing floating in the dark. It's like finding a needle in a cosmic haystack, except the needle is invisible and the haystack is the size of a galaxy. This is where astronomers have to get super clever. They use these incredible instruments, like the Very Large Telescope or the James Webb, and they're basically cosmic detectives. Sometimes they can just barely pick up the faint heat signature the planet is giving off, kind of like seeing it with night vision goggles. Other times, they use this brilliant trick called gravitational microlensing. They watch for a moment when the rogue planet passes in front of a distant star, and its gravity actually bends and magnifies the starlight. It's like a cosmic magnifying glass. Okay, so we found it, and we know it's on an epic binge. But how? What's actually going on here? The sciencey word for this is accretion, and it's actually a super fundamental process in the universe. It's how pretty much everything gets built. Stars, planets, you name it. It's just gravity doing its thing, grabbing nearby stuff and pulling it in. And for our hungry planet, CHA 1107-7626, it goes something like this. First, it barrels into this massive cloud of gas and dust. Its gravity is so strong, it starts grabbing that material, pulling it into a giant swirling disk around itself, kind of like the rings of Saturn, but way bigger and messier. And that disk, it's basically a conveyor belt, funneling all that gas and dust right down onto the planet. That's how it's packing on the pounds so fast. But here's where the story gets really, really weird. Because as scientists kept watching this thing eat, they saw stuff that didn't just break records. It broke the rules. It broke our whole idea of what a planet even is. The data just wasn't making any sense. This thing was doing something that, for a planet, should be totally impossible.
So look at this. On one hand, it's floating freely, no star, just like a planet. But then, it started showing magnetic activity. That's a star thing. Then water vapor popped up in its disk, also a star thing. This thing has the body of a planet, but it's acting for all the world like a baby star being born. What is going on? One of the study's co-authors, Amelia Bio, said it perfectly. The idea that a planetary object can behave like a star is awe-inspiring. And she's right. It just blows all our neat little categories out of the water. So what does this all mean? Well, it points to a mind-blowing conclusion. This thing probably wasn't a kicked-out orphan planet after all. Its star-like behavior tells us it was probably born all by itself, out there in the dark. It's basically a failed star. It just didn't quite have enough juice to switch on and start shining. And that's the real takeaway here. That clean line we thought we had between planet and star, it's not so clean anymore. It's way, way blurrier. The universe, it turns out, really doesn't care about our labels. And that brings us right back to where we started. Back to those trillions of other monsters wandering the void. If a planet can pretend to be a star, what other impossible things are hiding out there in the dark? What other rules are just waiting to be broken?